What would you do if the land you poured your heart into was suddenly claimed by strangers who didn't know its story? For me, that land was Willow Lake, a quiet stretch of water and woods I'd inherited from my grandfather, a man who taught me to fish, to listen to the wind, and to fight for what's yours. The lake wasn't just property, it was my refuge, my history, my home. But the HOA thought they could take it from me with a phone call and a badge. They were wrong. I'd been camping by the lake for years, a ritual to honor my grandfather's memory. Every summer, I'd pitch a tent, light a fire, and let the silence heal the noise of the world. That July, under a sky bruised with stars, I was setting up camp when headlights cut through the dusk. Two police officers stepped out, their radios crackling. "Sir, you're trespassing," one said, his voice clipped. "This land belongs to the Willow Creek HOA. You need to leave." I laughed, thinking it was a mistake. I showed them the deed, the faded paper that proved the lake was mine. They didn't care. The HOA had called, claiming the land was part of their gated community. I was escorted off my own property, my tent left sagging in the dirt. Fury burned in my chest, but I didn't shout or fight. I drove home, the deed crumpled in my fist, and called my old friend Clara, a lawyer who'd grown up fishing at the lake with me. She was as outraged as I was. "They're overreaching," she said, her voice sharp. "HOAs can't just claim private land. We'll sue." And so we did. We dug into records, maps, and surveys, piecing together the history of Willow Lake. It was mine, clear as day, inherited through 3 generations. The HOA's claim? A clerical error from a sloppy land survey years ago, one they'd exploited to expand their control. As we built the case, a twist emerged. Clara found a letter tucked in the county archives, written by a woman named Marjorie, a former HOA president who'd resigned a decade ago. She'd warned the board about the lake's true ownership, admitting they'd ignored the evidence to avoid losing control. Marjorie was still alive, living quietly on the edge of town. I visited her, expecting resistance, but found a woman haunted by guilt. "I tried to stop them," she whispered, her hands trembling. "They wanted the lake for their luxury docks." Her testimony became our secret weapon, a crack in the HOA's armor that shifted the case in our favor. The courtroom was a battlefield. The HOA's lawyer, a slick man in an overpriced suit, painted me as a drifter squatting on their pristine community. But Clara was relentless, presenting the deed, the surveys, and Marjorie's letter. The judge's eyes narrowed as the truth unfolded. The HOA had no claim. They'd harassed me, wasted police resources, and tried to steal what wasn't theirs. The gavel fell, and the ruling was mine. Not only was the lake reaffirmed as my property, but the HOA was ordered to pay damages for trespassing on my land. I took it a step further. Clara suggested a bold move: sue for rent. Every day their docks and signs had encroached on my property, they'd owed me. The judge agreed, and the HOA was hit with a bill for back rent stinging $50,000. I didn't keep all the money. Half went to a local conservation group to protect Willow Lake from future threats. The rest funded a new campsite, open to anyone who needed a quiet place to heal, just as I had. The HOA's docks were torn down, their signs removed. The lake was mine again, its waters still whispering my grandfather's lessons. Standing by the lake now, I watched the sunset bleed into the water the same way it did when I was a boy. The HOA thought they could bully me out of my legacy, but they forgot one thing. This land isn't just dirt and water. It's a story, a fight, a promise kept. And I'll defend it until my last breath. Yindi.